welcome into Cardinals Today, presented by PrizePicks. What a draft. What a 3 days for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm your host, Joey O'Donoghue. On today's show, we're giving grades to every selection that the Cardinals made. So if you are a diehard fan, you will love this show. It went Jeremiyah Love, 3rd overall. You got the best player in the class with the 3rd pick. Then Chase Bisontis, the big guard out of Texas A&M. Carson Beck followed at the top of the 3rd round. Kaleb Proctor, low-key a steal in the 4th. We'll talk about him. Reggie Virgil, the wide receiver out of Texas Tech, lands in Arizona in the 5th round. And then Sharar, the linebacker out of Iowa, and Jayden Williams. This was the entire draft class, folks. I think it filled positions of need. I think there also was a mix of BPA there for the Cardinals. Not every pick was perfect, though. A couple I did question mark, and that's why overall I give this a B-plus grade for the Cardinals. Well above average, well above good. This was very solid. B-plus for Arizona. You know, it's never going to be perfect with Monty Ossenfort running the thing, but I liked a lot of the selections that were made over the last 3 days, and I hope that this pans out on the field. So, before we dive into each player specifically, how would you grade the entire Cardinals draft class as a whole? Get a letter grade, be the professor, take out your red pen, and type A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know a letter grade in the comment section for this Cardinals draft class of 2026. The first player we're going to grade is the first player that they took, and that is the electric, dynamic, more than a running back, offensive weapon, Jeremiyah Love. I'm giving this an A. I don't care what they say. Best player in the class landed in Arizona. How is that not a win? This man could be the future of your organization for the next 10 years at running back. Arizona, I read by a source that they were still mad they didn't take Adrian Peterson decades ago. And they weren't going to make the same mistake this time because Jeremiyah Love's one of the best running back prospects we've seen in so long. Kind of like a Jahmyr Gibbs. Kind of like a Saquon type of hype around him, you know? He's a true 3-down back, big-time speed and receiving ability. Got the wiggle room to make guys miss, but he just runs through contact for extra yardage. He's fantastic, everybody. Great size, great speed, power, 3-down back. He could be out there blocking, running, receiving. It's unbelievable. Kind of like a Bijan Robinson prospect, too, but he's got a great frame. Like, it's unreal. We saw him last year in 12 games with Notre Dame. 1,372 yards rushing. 21 total touchdowns. It's nuts. Those type of numbers, this type of profile, that type of testing, no doubt in my mind, Jeremiyah Love was an A pick for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm really fired up about it. I hope that you guys are too, because I think this is a player you will love to have. And I get it. It's not going to contribute to wins next year. That's why it's not A+. But he's the best player you could have drafted at that point. And when you do have your quarterback, when you do have everything sorted, it's going to be a game changer. He's going to pop some runs that do win you some big games. When you are competing, you'll be happy you took Jeremiyah Love this time around because players like him don't come around often. We're going to keep grading the rest of the class here after a really good start. But first, let's talk about the app that I can't get enough of, and that is PrizePicks. It's the best place to win cash while you're watching sports. Playoff basketball is here. Big golf tournaments. Baseball is underway. If you're old school, personally, I love sports, and I love making daily fantasy lineups. You guys can follow me on the app and see all of my lineups at JoeyOD1. Get all the picks before they even get posted here on the show. You can also follow your friends, share lineups with each other, or explore your favorite celebrity lineups. I've got a baseball lineup, everybody. Basketball lineup. I got a basketball lineup. We're changing it up over here. This one actually already happened earlier today. So we've got Cade Cunningham. He was so close to more than 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And now Devin Booker, more than 5.5 2-pointers made, and SGA, more than 24.5 points scored. It's super easy to use the app, guys. All you got to do is pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. And by the way, we have a new user offer. If you download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA, you get $50 in lineups if you play your first $5 lineup. The link is in the comment section and description of today's video. And that is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. Let's move on to Chase Bisontis, the Texas A&M guard, who I think was a great pick for Arizona. Great frame. He's nearly 6'6", 300 pounds. This is why he's going at the top of the second round. He only allowed 1 sack last year. It fits a need. O-line was the biggest thing Arizona needed to fix. If you want to be good at all, you have to have offensive line sorted. So you needed an offensive lineman because you went BPA, and they did that. They delivered, and they took Bisontis. So I give this an A-. I like the pick a lot for the Cardinals. He's not the perfect player. That's why he didn't sneak into the first round, but there were conversations that he could. Multi-year starter with a good frame. Also solid movement and really good hands, like strong hands. You can see the body on your screen. He's got the strength. When he gets his hands on you, it's hard to shake loose. And so he'll get himself into issues sometimes maybe with leverage problems, but I do like the athleticism, the build, and the pass blocking. And so it's awesome when he lands the first punch. Dane Brugler will tell you that Bisontis is a burly, sawed-off blocker with the body quickness and core strength to get the upper hand in all phases. He projects as an eventual NFL starter and has the traits that will speak to both zone and power schemes. Perfect for Arizona, who's trying to build something here. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the pass blocking that he brings. Only allowed 1 sack last year. Does get a little crabby, though. Too many penalties last year. 8 penalties. Can't have that. That's why it's not an A. That's why it's not an A+. But A- for fitting a position of need with a good football player. How could you be complaining about that? I like what they did here at the top of the second. And so that was the Chase Bisontis pick for everybody. Let's move on to the next player that they selected, and that was quarterback out of Miami, Carson Beck. Controversial one to start the third round. C+. C+. Why? Because it's not going to be a good player. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Reached, not going to impact your roster at all. If he plays, you're lucky, and then goodbye. A quarterback that you really need is in 2027. So I think you wasted a high premium pick at the very top of the third round on him for no reason. Maybe he's your future backup, and that's great. You could have got an edge that you needed. And so I don't understand this pick. You could have got more offensive line. You could have got a right tackle up here. I don't know. But you took Carson Beck. Decision-making always been an issue for him. It got better last year. But the offense, the play calling, was intended to limit him. Don't do anything, Beck. Our team's so stacked, you're the only one that could mess it up. And then he did in the national championship. So I don't understand what they saw in him, why they adored him. What does Monty Ossenfort love so much about Carson freaking Beck, man? And I just don't like it. I don't think he's going to be a good player. That's why I don't like it. Now, you could argue it's somewhat low risk, high reward, but I think pick 65 is way more valuable than you're giving it credit for if you're saying that. It's not like it's a fifth-round pick. And guess what? He probably would have fallen to the fifth round. Only Arizona, I've heard, loves him. So what does that tell you? That's a C+ for me. I didn't need it. Unless Jacoby just literally sits out this year. All right, at least you got Beck. Then I get you. But you could have got Drew Aller, too. That's all I'm saying about Carson Beck. Let's move on. This pick, let's talk better picks. Because I really like this one in the fourth round. Pick 104. You were able to land Kaleb Proctor, okay? Not Jayden Proctor, not the offensive lineman, but actually Kaleb Proctor, who 6'1", nearly 6'2", 290. As a defensive lineman, he's lean, he's athletic. It's not a traditional D lineman that you see. He's one that will have a lot of pass rush upside for you guys. Like, he's a fun, athletic player. I'm giving this an A+ in the fourth round. To get a player that could be an impact player on your D-line is a steal. Kaleb Proctor, whether he starts or gets rotated in, you got to look out for him because he's fast, he's athletic, he's got pass rush juice. He's a high-energy player. Great pursuit in the open field, by the way. He'll beeline to the ball and make tackles. Plenty of praise for his work ethic, too, and leadership. That's just all you hear the coaches and everybody talk about for him. He's got the athletic traits, needs a little bit of refinement, but the athleticism's there. And Dane Brugler says the same thing. Lacks the ideal girth, and will need to prove himself versus NFL size. His athletic traits, passionate motor, elite intangibles, those are qualities that NFL teams want in their organization. Similar in ways to Kobe Turner. He's worth a day 3 gamble, and that's what you did. That's why I give this an A+. I love the pick. I think he's super athletic and high motor. Reads plays well. It's just a fun one who will give some juice on the defense. What do you guys think the best Cardinals pick was so far? Or of the whole draft if you already know the picks that are coming? Let me know in the comment section. We talked about Love, we talked about Proctor, we talked about Beck, Bisontis. Who's the best pick the Cardinals made? Let me know your opinion about that in the comment section. Let's start to round things out here. Round 5, Reggie Virgil. I'm giving him a B+. Wide receiver's not your need. But when you learn about Reggie Virgil and what he can bring out of Texas Tech, he has special teams ability. He's a really good athlete, nice ball skills, body control. Does offer some vertical ability, too, as a deep threat. So he's not very dangerous after the catch, but you're not drafting him to be your wide receiver 1, 2, or even 3. Like, he could be wide receiver 4 automatically just because of his special teams ability. But he is a quality athlete with long strides. I'm fine with bringing him on. Bring him into that room. You've already got your 1, 2, and 3. Kendrick Bourne, a sneaky good signing in free agency. Add Reggie Virgil in there just to be able to help out on special teams and be a sneaky deep threat downfield. That's a fun player to have. Flashes some route running ability, but what this is really about is special team snaps. He had 245 of them. Round 6. I like this player. Iowa, Carson Sharar, the linebacker. Arizona needed some linebacker depth, some off-ball linebacker depth. That's exactly what you just got in round 6. It's kind of a steal. It's kind of a steal when you read about this guy, when you watch some of the tape. Like Dane Brugler says that Sharar needs to prove himself trustworthy in the eye discipline and coverage recognition, but his speed and toughness are enough to make an impact on special teams. He has the upside for a Cole Holcomb type of career. So welcome to the Arizona Cardinals in the 6th round. Plays super fast, really good special teams ability also. That's a unit that should not get overlooked, and Arizona's not overlooking it. They signed Devin Duvernay in free agency, for crying out loud. So lacks the size, but he plays hard, processes plays well, and he'll be a piece in the depth chart on the linebacker room and special teams. Finally, Jayden Williams, the last player in the 2026 NFL Draft that joins the Arizona Cardinals. I like this pick a lot. I'm giving Jayden Williams an A+. Why? You so badly needed offensive tackle. Thank God you addressed it. I wish you did it earlier. I wish we had talked about Jayden Williams or a better offensive tackle earlier. But this is a steal at the end of the draft. Why not bring him on over to Arizona? That's going to do it for today's video, everybody. So, if you're hyped up about the Cardinals draft picks, I certainly am. Let me know about it in the comment section. It was a lot of fun to be able to talk about Cardinals football and everybody that's coming in. I asked you guys who the best player was from Arizona. What do you think the worst one is? Get a name in the comment section. Who's the worst draft pick that the Cardinals made all day? That's going to do it, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in to Cardinals today. I hope this video was informative. It got you excited and also helped you realize some of the decisions that weren't that great. I do want your opinions more than anything in the comment section, though. So hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of the Cardinals draft class. I've been your host, Joey O'Donoghue, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Cardinals content.